Are you ready?
I've been ready.
Don't give me any of your crap.
Come on, we're wasting people's time.
Hi there. Thanks for diving into Two Peas, Same Pod, the humorous podcast of family unity that proves we're all in this comedic roller coaster of life together. Here are your hosts, the father and daughter duo, Eric and Tovah Weinstein.
Hello and welcome to Two Peas.
Same pod.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, well, it's been a hot minute.
We are so sorry from the bottom of our hearts.
Well, the bottom of Tovah's heart.
Oh, you're not sorry?
I'm kind of sorry.
We're sorry that we have been busy, so we will not blame anyone. We will not place blame. I've been busy, people. What can I say? I'm a full-time employee.
Oh, please. So, for those of you tuning in for the first time, we are a father-daughter podcast about everything and nothing at all. And we're here to entertain, a little father-daughter banter.
Father-daughter.
And away we go. So we break our podcast into three segments. One is World Peas, where we talk about the goings-on in pop culture.
Goings-on.
Then the next segment is Peas Our Family, where we usually have a little sister...
Peas Our Family. Hey. Come on.
Where we have a little sister sledge break there. And we talk about something from our family folklore. And then lastly, we go to Peas of Information.
Piece of information.
Piece of information. Where I throw Tovah some hot questions and get even hotter answers.
Okay.
So let's kick it off with our World Peas segment. It's time for World Peas. Okay.
Let's first off say rest in power, Pope Francis.
He's not our guy, but
He's not our guy, but rest in power.
No, I know. I respect the leaders of all religions. I don't know what Tovah's doing.
That's what he does.
She's doing like a touchdown Jesus thing right now.
Yes, I am. That is exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm waving my hands. This is exactly why we need video, people. We need video. If you want video, let us know, and don't stop letting us know. Grammy, if you want video, let my father know.
I don't think grandmother needs video for this. She can see us. She knows what we look like.
No, I think she would love it. Absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, rest in peace to Pope Francis, who just died this morning. Made it past Easter.
Okay,
and
maybe
then
he
died
held
the
on.
morning. Yeah, I think so.
J.D. Vance poisoned him. Did you see that?
Oh God, you mean Nick?
No, stop it. I hate when you say that. He likes to compare my boyfriend's looks to those of J.D. Vance and nothing else.
That's it. No, not the politics or anything, just the look. So Tovah's going to post a picture of Nick on Instagram next to J.D. Vance.
Maybe one that he consents to.
And you people can vote. It'll be our next poll.
Grammy actually, when we first started dating, said that he looked like one of your good friends, Lou.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, that's what Grammy said.
Lou doesn't listen, I don't think.
What?
I know.
Lou, for people who don't know, is
one of my closest and oldest friends.
And they go on dates together.
You've talked about this before.
They go to the movies. My mom doesn't get invited to the Red Sox game. Lou gets invited to the Red Sox game.
We go to the theater together.
Yeah, the theater.
Mostly musicals. So, World Peas, let's talk a little bit about pop culture.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about this person I don't know anything about. Yes. Trisha Paytas.
Yes, my girl, my homie.
You're homie.
I love you. She does I love you, Jesus, and she does I love you, Moses. She's married to a Jew, Moses.
Is she?
Moses Hackman.
That's his name?
He's from Israel. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you tell our listeners, and me for that matter, what this person is all about? What does she do? I know you've mentioned her many times in the past.
To describe. She is someone who... It's without words. Like, there's no words to describe her.
Well, try to find some.
Entertainer, influencer. You know what mukbang is?
A what?
A mukbang.
How do you spell that?
MUKBANG, mukbang.
Never heard of it.
It's basically when people indulge in a bunch of food on the internet. So they just eat a mass amount of food while on camera. There is some, like, whatever, like sexual thing,
fetish
like on the other side of it, but on the ASMR side of it, which is like noises.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Texture and noises. And
Yes. People love it. So she does that. She does everything. She's been on Ellen. She's been on Nathan For You. She's been on Modern Family. She was in an episode in the background.
Yeah, she was an extra without a speaking part, right?
Yes, but Cam referred to her as getting like plastic surgery, like a breast
Augmentation.
Yeah, but she was like, I never had one. But
Now, you've seen her twice in a stage production.
yes, I have.
Of like a one-woman show,
She
right?
calls it the Eras Tour. Like, Taylor Swift, how she
Yeah.
did her Eras Tour. Trisha Paytas has had all these eras. So she started, the first era was her Disney era. She cosplays as these people too. So it's so hard to explain. She's an entertainer. She just does random crap. I don't even know it, but she's so entertaining.
And you've paid money to see her twice.
Yeah, and I subscribed to her Patreon.
Okay,
Yes, I
hold
paid
on. So, yes, go ahead. You paid money for what? What do you get with her Patreon?
No, it's so worth it. Nick will tell you. I'm all over it because I have access to her past videos too on Patreon. So whenever she posts 2 podcasts a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'm plugging it because she's the best. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then on Wednesdays they post an extended podcast. So that's like an hour. And then on Sundays they do a mukbang. They do like some creative thing and a video, and you can watch it on Sundays. But so I subscribe to her Patreon, $10 a month. Love it. Can't get enough of it.
Well, that's good that you're paying her $10 a month because you're going to start paying me and Mom $100 a month for rent.
What?
Elaine, are you listening?
No, Mom.
Are you listening?
Don't let him do this. This is not a dictatorship.
Oh, it certainly is. You know what? You're going to start subscribing to Mom and Dad's Patreon. You know what?
Parentreon.
Parents Treon. You know what Parents Treon gets you? Room and board. That's what you get. And so start breaking out your checkbook.
I'm not paying nothing. I'm not paying you nothing. Not to live in my childhood bedroom.
It's not your childhood bedroom.
Josh's childhood bedroom.
It's your It's the new renovated Tovah bedroom.
He's not serious. For all those listening, so I do subscribe to her Patreon, $10 a month. Nick was gonna get me like a little gift card to start it off. So,
but you saw her like a month ago, like right after our last episode. You went down someplace and
to Foxwoods Casino.
That is a casino in Connecticut.
And me and Nick, we left bright and early in the day. The show wasn't until 7:30, and I think we left around noon. And it only took like an hour and 15 because he lives in Norfolk. Not to dox him or anything, but he lives in Norfolk, so it's kind of close.
Do you want to give his actual address while you keep saying Norfolk?
No, because you clearly don't even know the address, because when you tried to order him, his family, a little Christmas present, he sent it to the wrong address. He sent it to the address in Framingham.
So, people, hold on, pause right there, Tovah. People, when you order things on certain shopping sites, when you begin to enter in an address, like on our address, if I enter in our street number and I start entering the first couple of letters, all of a sudden it'll auto-populate. Like they're using some database and it's automatic. So in this case for Nick, I did the same thing for his parents. I started to enter in his street address. It brought up the right street number. It brought up the right street name. I just didn't happen to notice that instead of Norfolk, it was a different town. So somebody in that other town enjoyed one of the delightful holiday gifts that was edible that we sent to Nick's family. Yes, I'm a schmuck. I understand. Yeah. So, okay, so you went to Foxwoods Casino. You'd never been there before.
I had never been there. I've never been to a casino that's not on a cruise ship. Yeah. Let's get that straight. And so when we got there, immediately went to the daiquiri bar. Loved it. Delicious. So we're walking around, and the vibes at 1 compared to the vibes when it was 5 p.m. were so different. 1, there was old people at the slot machines. It felt kind of depressing. Then as the day went on, there were more people at the live tables. Me and Nick mainly just played on the electronic tables.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't like those ones though, because it feels like you're not actually losing real money because you're playing a video game.
That's right. That's how they hook you.
Yeah, and so, but I didn't lose that much money. I put a cap on it. Nick didn't put a cap on himself because he was like, I just got a bonus. But Nick is not reckless, people, with his money. He probably spent less than I did, honestly. But we went, have you heard of the Sugar Factory?
Yes, I am familiar, but tell our listeners.
We went to the Sugar Factory, it was in Foxwoods is crazy. I've never been there. It's like a mall / resort / theater /
casino
/ everything. And yeah, honestly, free drinks when I'm at the tables. I'm like, yes, please, over here.
They get you lubed up so you become more loose with your money.
Nice. So Sugar Factory, their drinks that me and Nick got to share for $50 for one of the drinks, for one of the little like smoky drinks.
What?
I showed you.
Yeah, $50.
$50.
Okay,
And
I think so. I think 150 is the monthly rent.
No, this was like a little bit of a splurge because we have never.
I'd
was
say
like
so.
a little treat for the weekend.
A little weekend
And
treat.
so
Yeah, you work so hard, you need a weekend treat. Go ahead.
I deal with a lot of BS.
From who? I'm guessing not me.
No, not you.
Okay, go ahead.
So yes, I saw her the first time. It was so fun. It was awesome, and I was like, you know what? Gee, golly, I have to go back. I go, she's worth it. Every penny, every bleeping penny. So I'm like looking on Ticketmaster. I'm like, it's during the week. It's Wednesday, her next show. So I got work off, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going.
And you bought yourself one single ticket.
Yeah, I did. In the orchestra. Good seat.
Yeah. You bought
I was next to someone who was by themselves, then someone right in front of me, and then the 3 seats right in front of me, no one was sitting in. So I had such a good view.
How close were you, would you say?
The Wayne Theater.
No, it's big.
Yeah, I was on in the first level. I was in I. So
that's pretty close. Yeah,
started it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty close.
Yeah, so I was pretty close. But
You
she
were
had
in,
the VIP sec. I wish I went to the meet and greet. I'm so mad. But it was like $800 by the time.
How much was the orchestra ticket? Do I want to know?
It was like $150.
Okay, I think the Patriot is now up to $200 a month.
But
did you know that I paid like $1,900 the week before to have your car repaired?
yeah, that was bad. I needed a muzzle.
Muzzle? No, you need a muzzle, all right.
No, I
She need
did.
a muffler.
I needed a muffler. I needed all new tires that needed to be aligned. All that fun
You
stuff.
needed rear brakes.
Need rear brakes. I needed an oil change. I need an inspection still, but I can't find my registration.
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to look in your glove box. I'll have to do that tonight.
If I have time after work, Bridget wants me to meet them out. I'll be there if I can, Bridget. Shout out, Bridget. It's Marathon Monday.
It is Marathon Monday here in Boston.
Okay, shout out, Bridget. This is her first marathon. I can't believe it's Boston. Boston's notoriously hard marathon.
It is.
Should that segue us?
That can segue us into Peas Our Family segment.
Peace, our family. Hey, hey, hey. Come on.
It's time for Peas Our Family.
We are family.
With our very little tribute to Sister Sledge
Yes. So it's Marathon Monday, Memorial Day.
there. So I have a funny story, not really that funny, but back when I was in college, and I went to college for my freshman year in the city of Boston, not far from
Where?
Northeastern University.
Tell her, listen, yeah.
Shout out Northeastern University and my friend Marty, who lives in Texas.
Go Huskies.
Go Huskies, that's right. So shout out to my friend Marty, one of my closest friends, longtime friend, freshman year roommate at Northeastern University. He and I and another friend of ours went to the marathon, went to the finish line because Northeastern is not far from the finish line of the
Made it
marathon.
that far?
Funny. So we went over to the finish line to watch, the end of the marathon. And let's just say that there must have been some underage drinking involved, not by us necessarily, but by people across the street. So we're on Boylston Street, which is where the marathoners come running down to cross the finish line. And the place is going nuts. People are cheering, whatever. And there's this like young group of young kids, like teenagers, like maybe seniors in high school, but like they're across from us. And there was this one guy, and he was just leaning over and vomiting the entire time. And, that began like this running gag, like that whole day. Like I would turn to Marty. I'm like, hey, Marty, who'd you go to the marathon with? Ralph, and it was just like that has stood out with me like my entire life.
The whole time he was just yuking on the side.
He was just like with a group of people, and he was just like throwing up over the railing or over the little do not cross line.
Oh God!
It was
marathoners
funny.
could slip on that.
Oh yeah, no kidding. I'd like to run 26 miles, and then the 26.2 marker, you slip on somebody's vomit.
Disgusting.
Anyway, so that's my little Marathon Monday memory. But when we lived in Hopkinton, which is where the start of the marathon is
it?
Yeah, Mom and I lived only down the street from the starting line. I mean, literally, maybe a couple hundred yards.
Oh, I actually knew it started. Then it goes to Ashland, then it goes to Framingham.
Follows 135 for quite a while through Wellesley.
I don't know the numbers of the highways.
Anyway, yes, it goes through all the suburbs leading into Boston. But
That's basically right left for a dyslexic person.
Yes. You cannot set a world record on the Boston Marathon course.
Why not?
Because under marathoning rules, the international, rules of marathoning, the IRM, whatever it's called.
BS.
Yeah. It has to start and end at the same point. And
really?
Boston is a one-way marathon. You start 26 and a half miles out in Hopkinton and you run into the city.
Is that why it's unique and why people like it? Heartbreak Hill, baby.
It's a difficult course.
It starts downhill.
Starts downhill, but not for long. It's a difficult course, and I think it's created a challenge to the elite marathoners over the years. So it's considered one of the, if not the top, it's considered one of the top marathons in the world. So this past week, leading into Marathon Monday, this past week happened to be Passover.
Oh.
For people of our faith.
Let's not pass over Passover.
That's right. As people may know, with Passover, we have to sit around the table and we do a little service, and we have symbolic foods that we talk about that are supposed to be related to our experiences in the time as slaves in Egypt.
Do you want to talk about our Seder specifically?
No, other than the bitter herbs.
Okay.
And Mark and I used to work for my friend Mark.
Mark who?
Shapiro.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
And I used to work together at this company in Waltham. And he had worked there for a long time, maybe 18, 20 years. I worked there in my gap year between between college and law school. I started law school, then I took a year off, stopped, took a year off, went back. And that year, my gap year, so to speak, I worked for this company, same company. That's how I met Mark. And the owner of the company was a guy whose name was Herb. And Classic Herb. And every year, like since we've been doing Passover in our house, whenever I get to the bitter herb section, I always refer to it as bitter herb. And I remember the first time I ever said it, Mark yelled out from the table, "You got that right," or whatever. Herb was a good guy. I'm not really bad-mouthing him. It's just funny that we can say bitter herb. But he was a little bit mercurial, meaning that his emotional mood swings would swing back and forth. He could be very charming and very nice and gracious and, whatever. But then he could come in a mood, and it wouldn't be such a fun day to be at work, and thus the name Bitter Herb. Now, what's interesting about Bitter Herb is that the day that Mom and I got engaged, Mark knew that I was meeting Mom for lunch and that I was probably going to propose then. And so while we were there at the Cottage Crest restaurant in Waltham, also rest in peace. It's closed. It's now condos. It's the Cottage Condos.
Ugh.
I don't know. We got engaged there the day before Thanksgiving that year. And Herb, who was a frequent patron of that restaurant, had arranged, unbeknownst to us, to have some champagne sent over.
Ah, nice Herb.
Nice Herb. So that's unbitter Herb. That's sweet Herb.
Yeah, sweet Herb.
Sweet Herb. It sounds like something you'd go into like Union Twist. I'd like some sweet Herb, please.
Oh, yes, dispensary. I'm so PO'd because the other day on, I believe it was Saturday, maybe they did a thing where if you spend $25 or more at Union Twist, you got like a little like ticket, and you go out to like the parking lot, and they had a Ben and Jerry's truck, and you could get 2 free scoops
Where was this?
at Union Twist.
When?
Yeah, on Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Before 420.
Oh,
They were
okay.
in
Oh,
anticipation. And they had Roxy's grilled cheese. I think you could get a free grilled cheese, or you could get free 2 scoops. I'm so PO.
I'm telling you, Girl Scouts, you should be hanging outside of these dispensaries selling you Girl
really
Scout cookies.
They really should be. I don't know why they're in the center of Franklin, Massachusetts, just standing in the middle of an island
Yeah, that's not a great
outside
spot.
Stop and Shop with all the
Yes.
commoners.
So that's my little Passover story. But I also want to say that since our last episode, you were really shilling the TV show Paradise. You were really pushing
Oh,
me
yes, I was.
to watch Paradise. And you know what? I watched it.
Finally, take my advice.
I took your advice finally, and I watched Paradise. And you
And?
know what? It's very good, but yet a little bit predictable.
Yeah.
I would say that, as I think there's only 8 episodes, maybe 9 episodes.
Not
it's very
many.
short.
Yeah.
I think as I got closer to the end and certain reveals were made, I was like, yeah. Like it totally was not a surprise. If they were trying to make us feel like, oh my God, what a twist. I didn't feel it. We're not going to get into it
No
so much
spoilers
because I
here.
don't want to spoil it. But I will tell you, it's very good. It's very well made. It's not cheap and cheesy at all. It was just like slightly predictable, but that's because it has sort of like that type of plot where you're going to be able to kind of see where things are going. Doesn't really ruin it for you in any way. It left it on a good note, getting ready for season 2.
Yes.
Apparently, they've renewed it for season 2. So, I'm looking forward to that return. Also, just yesterday, unrelated to you, just yesterday, I finished binging The Pit. P-I-T-T.
Binger. TV binger.
Not a binger and purger, as the case may be. But I watched The Pit. There's 15 episodes.
Oh, geez.
They're a little bit shorter. They're only about 45 minutes each. Stars Noah Wyle and nobody else that you would know. Noah Wyle, formerly of ER fame, and he had a very small role in A Few Good Men when he was a young kid. But I like him. I've liked him over the years. And that's a very intense show. It's a show that each episode follows basically 1 hour of the same day in an emergency room in Pittsburgh, like a level 1 trauma center at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. It follows them from the time the attending physician comes on at 7 in the morning and then 15 hours later, and it just rides through that whole day. And it is intense, but it was done well, and it was nice to be able to follow the same storylines across the episodes because a lot of the patients were still there or coming and going or whatever. Very good show.
I need to watch that on the elliptical.
Yes, it's on Max. I give it a thumb up.
I did watch the first episode with Nick, but he doesn't really like shows like that.
It's gory, people. I'm warning you, if you watch it, you've got to be prepared. It's an emergency room television show, but it's on Max, and so there's no filtering, nothing.
Yeah.
You see it all. You see it all.
So now
Let me
you
tell
can-
you, you see it. What?
Now you can watch Dr. Odyssey without flinching.
Yeah, Dr. Odyssey. That's the exact opposite of The Pit. So The Pit is at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center Hospital, and Dr. Odyssey is on some luxury cruise ship, where they seem to have every tool and device available.
Dialysis machine on board.
Yeah, CAT scan machine.
One of those red light therapy, whatever machines on the chambers. I don't know what that show is. I love it, though.
I know. There's something weirdly compelling about that
I
show.
know.
Such a piece of junk, but we watch it. We love it.
We love it.
It's our guilty pleasure.
I can't wait for High Potential to be back.
Let's move on to our Piece of Information segment. Let's learn more. Piece of information.
Piece of information. Piece of information.
I don't know why we do that.
I don't know either.
These are all sort of Passover-related questions. Let me ask you this. Okay. Let me ask you this. How was the horseradish this year?
Was not spicy whatsoever.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how much I put on my gefilte. Not spicy.
So let me just warn you when we stop recording, we're going to go into the kitchen here at the office, and I have some extra hot, like extremely
I'll be
hot
the judge.
Passover horseradish.
I'll be the judge.
Be prepared.
I'll be the judge.
Prepare to have your mind blown.
Can you really call it a kitchen if there's no sink?
There's a refrigerator, so it's our refrigerator room.
It's a room with a...
It's got our copier. It's got our paper
Is there a
supplies.
microwave in there?
No.
How do you heat up your food?
I don't. I eat it cold. I eat most of my food cold since we moved here.
That's depressing.
Yeah. Okay. So you were underwhelmed with the horseradish that we served, but you may not be underwhelmed with the horseradish.
Hopefully not.
Okay. What was your favorite Passover food this year? What did you have that you really enjoyed this year?
I love the 7-layer cake. The packaged 7-layer cake from where? Would you get it at the butchery or?
Yeah, either the butchery or Stop and Shop sells those for Passover.
I love a good 7-layer cake. I love a good. The egg matzah was really good this year, or the gluten-free.
Gluten-free, yeah.
The onion one. That one's so good for some reason. But out of everything that was made, I mean, the gefilte fish is always so good. It's the gefilte fish for me. My mom makes this salmon gefilte fish where she uses both the white fish and salmon, and it's delicious. Anyone who's had it.
Made from scratch.
You need to give some to Doctor.
Oh, yeah, but it's way past its useful date. I'm going to give him the recipe.
I know. I think Dick's mom dumped it the other day.
All right, last question. And Tova will post pictures about this stuff. What do you think about the meat and the capon this year?
Oh, yes, the meat and the capon. Delicious. The capon was so good. I don't know what you do with the capon. I'm mad that I missed the beef remnants and the fat before I got home.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, so what Tova's referring to is that when I smoked a brisket on one of my smokers for the second day of Rosh Hashanah. The second day of Passover. And I probably did it for Rosh Hashanah, too.
What time did you put it on?
I put it on at about 12:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And then I let it run all day and all night. I took it off the smoker at about 3:30.
It's been a hard day's night.
So about 15 hours or so on the smoker. And when I cook a brisket on the smoker, I put a drip pan underneath it, and I catch the rendering fat and the drippings. But also, before I put it on the smoker, I trim a lot of the fat off the brisket, and I toss it in this drip pan. So as the brisket is smoking and the fat is dripping into the pan, there's also fat in the pan already that's melting. Mm-hmm. And
it's melting.
Yes, just like a felba. Mm-hmm. And usually what I do is I wrap my brisket when it reaches a certain point, when I like the color and I don't want it to dry out, and I take some of the fat that has dripped into that pan or melted in that pan, and I pour it over the brisket. And then I wrap it up in butcher paper, and I stick it back on the smoker to cook. Now, people, don't worry. Paper doesn't burn until it hits 451 degrees Fahrenheit. Just ask Ray Bradbury.
Oh.
And because of that, I can wrap the meat in butcher paper. I can wrap it, and I can smoke it the rest of the way. And so the meat is like soaking in like beef fat as it's smoking. It's phenomenal. But when I take it off and I take the drip pan out, it's got chunks of not only fat that has melted, but almost all the way, but not quite. So these little crispy bits of fat in there. But some of the fat had meat in it from where I trimmed it off. Mm-hmm. And so Josh and I did a little meat picking
of
out
course.
of the fat.
Taste test.
And, well, that's not really a taste test. You're not serving this. And by the way, it comes with a side of Lipitor. But I'm telling you, like Josh, I think it was unbelievable. Yeah. Just those.
We've had.
Yeah.
Last time you've done that, I think it was me. Josh wasn't home, and we had some of that.
Phenomenal.
And then you pour the fat into a mason jar and keep it in the fridge and pretend that you're going to use it.
That's exactly right. I pretend I'm going to use it for something, but it gets really hard.
What would you use it for?
I would do it for the same thing. I would use it for the next batch, but
when do you really want to experience?
Yeah,
experiment with that.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna, because Mom won't eat it since it came from beef.
Mom won't eat so you can't use it in
exactly. Normally, some people use it like instead of oil,
they use bacon grease too sometimes.
Well, we don't do bacon, but I have.
I never said we did.
I'm not saying you did. On that note, it's been fun to return back to our podcasting roots.
Woo-hoo!
Thanks for joining us. And we're going to try to do better on our timing going forward.
Oh, yeah, because I'll have more time coming up.
I don't know why, but as people like to say, we are thrillingly close to actual entertainment. So tune in.
Who says that?
People say that.
Shout out Grammy before we forget.
I didn't forget, but apparently you want to shout out Grammy. So shout out Ma.
Shout out Grammy.
All right. So until next time, America, peace out.
And peace out. Good luck, Bridget. You got it.
Thanks for listening to Two Peas, Same Pod, hosted by Eric and Tovah Weinstein. Please subscribe and join us next time as we continue to share humorous anecdotes, funny mishaps, and comical observations from our own lives.
Two Peas, Same Pod is produced by 1253 Studios, bringing always humorous and sometimes thought-provoking conversations to you through your favorite podcasting sites. Creative content and marketing director Tovah Weinstein. Executive producer and chief editor Eric Weinstein. Music by MBB. Find his work on YouTube by searching for MBB Music or at mbbmusic.com. Special thanks for the intro, outro, and trailer voiceover to Jordan Rich of CBS Boston Radio and Chart Productions, providing audio and voiceover recording and production, as well as podcast production and support. Visit Jordan at chartproductions.com. Funding for Two Peas Same Pod is provided by the Law Office of Eric Weinstein and listeners like you. Please consider subscribing and supporting this podcast. Until we meet again, this was Two Peas Same Pod, a 1253 Studios production.